Welcome back to another episode of the Grow Your Daycare podcast. I am your host, Christina Rizakos, and today I have a fun episode for you all. I'm kind of taking you behind the scenes as to what I do in my marketing agency as a busy mom, as I help clients fully book their programs and reach more local families using social media. And I'm going to walk you through a simple framework that you can definitely follow along with for the next 90 days, okay? So I'm going to explain this step by step, and don't worry if you are having a hard time kind of grasping the information and really just tracking everything that I'm going to share. I actually created a worksheet that is totally free to download. The link is in the show notes. You click on that, it'll open up the file, and then you'll be able to kind of follow along. And more importantly, print it and actually implement it in your business if you decide to do so, okay? Before I dive in, I want to mention that there's a few ways you and I can work together. I actually revamped my services. We have our school community, so that's perfect if you are on a low budget, if you need help with social media marketing, maybe you're running a small in-home, or if you're just starting out and you just basically need some basic posts and content to post on your platforms. You want to join our school community for that. There's a few ways you can sign up. And we also have done for you packages, anything from Google My Business optimization to full-blown done for you social media content, as well as traffic ads on Facebook and Instagram. All those links are in the show notes. You can check those out. I would love to help you really just reach your goals, especially in the next year. So let's get to today's episode, okay? So this is my simple framework to close my year strong and how I plan out my next 90 days, okay? So first step is I do a quick yearly evaluation. So this is very, very simple, you guys. I basically plan out a day where I hope my house is going to be quiet. As you may or may not know, I have 4 kids. So I want to do this when my focus is there, when the house is quiet, when I really don't have anything else too pressing to do. I want to make sure I take some time and I am thinking back to the year that I just had, okay? So, and I ask myself, this is very simple reflection. I ask myself, what did I enjoy doing this year in terms of my business, okay? This could be clients that I loved working with, the content that I enjoyed creating, maybe services that I offered that I felt aligned with, projects that really energized me. And then I write everything down, obviously. What did I not enjoy doing, right? Because obviously we want to focus on things that we loved doing, but also things that we didn't necessarily enjoy doing. So example, maybe you didn't enjoy a scheduling system that drained you. Maybe, I know for me, maybe I offered offers or plans to clients where I didn't really feel connected to. Maybe I signed up a few clients that I really didn't feel were a good fit for my marketing agency, okay? And I write all that down. The next thing I ask myself is what worked really well? So maybe a program that sold easily, maybe it was a strategy that produced results, a workflow that simplified things for me in the back end. The next question is what felt like a huge waste of time, right? Because I always want to be smart with my time in life, in my personal life, but especially in my business, because as busy moms, we have, a certain amount of hours in the day and we want to make sure everything is done. So I don't want to be wasting my time on things, especially in my business, that aren't bringing me results, that aren't moving the needle forward, okay? So these, for me, are platforms that I shouldn't have focused on. Maybe, example, I started the beginning of the year, I tried to be on TikTok a little bit. It was a complete waste of time for me, so I decided to stop altogether, okay? I stopped offering offers that no one wanted, nobody wanted to invest in, and I stopped producing content that didn't really convert. So for me, for example, that was posting every single day on Facebook and Instagram because I am investing in ads and I do have my podcast and my YouTube channels out there. So I thought that, you know what, let me track the numbers to see how many people find me on YouTube versus how many people actually find me on social media. And lo and behold, my YouTube channel is growing steadily and I'm getting more clients reaching out, emailing me, asking for information on how we could work together. So for me, creating content every single day, sometimes twice a day, was just not working well for me, okay? And the last question is, what did I feel resistance toward? So resistance is data. You need to really hone in on that and really pay attention. What didn't feel good to you? What were you kind of on the fence about? Okay, this could be anything. So if you're running a childcare center, this is what this would look like for you. Okay, I want you to reflect on new programs that you maybe launched this past year, maybe staff that you hired, maybe policies or parent communication changes, systems that you implemented, menus, schedules, curriculum changes, even emails and announcements that you wrote. And I want you to ask yourself, how did each one feel? Was it helpful? Was it draining? Was it effective? Was it a miss? And I want you to write all this down because this is your truth list. If we're not aware of what's working and what's not working, and what feels aligned and what doesn't, then we're going to end up repeating the same thing every single year. And I know this for a fact because I was someone, especially when I started my marketing agency, that I never did any of this, you guys, right? So once I started implementing this, I saw a big shift, not only in the sales of our marketing agency, but how I felt, how I connected with my kids, my husband at home. I had time to do other things, right? I didn't feel like I was locked into projects that I really didn't want to be doing. And that was because I took the time to reflect on the year that I had, okay? So really, really important. Don't skip out on step number 1. Step number 2, I want you to audit your financials, right? So where did your income really come from? So real quickly for me, I ask myself, where did most of my income come from? Was it from my school community, my one-on-one clients, my workshops, my Google My Business services? What sold the most? What didn't sell enough? Which offers looked good on paper but didn't really perform? So it really just gives me a clear picture of what's in demand right now, what needs to go, what needs a good refresh, and what should I double down on, okay? So for you, this would be something like this. So you would ask yourself, which programs brought in the most income? Which age groups filled fastest? Where did most inquiries come from? Which months were strongest, weakest? What expenses keep rising? What offerings aren't profitable anymore? And this is going to give you clarity about what to keep, what to raise prices on, what to discontinue, what to expand, and where marketing actually needs to focus, okay? So most centers, when they do this, they discover that one age group carries them financially. Some hours are priced too low, some programs aren't sustainable, and tuition increases are overdue. So once you do this audit of your financials, I want you to write all this down, and then you're ready to move forward to step number 3. This is where you write down new ideas you want to explore, okay? So I want you to think of this as your parking lot. So for me, for example, I have a lot of time where I am talking with clients one-on-one and in my DMs, emails, as well as with inside our school community. So I get a lot of feedback from those that I am serving in the field that are presently working with children, running programs, running home daycares. And there's always things that they'll say that gives me an idea, like, hey, maybe I should offer this, or maybe I can do a workshop that will help, my clients get over this hump. So I'm sure that it is the same thing for you. Parents say things, right? Or you might even notice that this is lacking, right? So here are just a few examples for you. Maybe you want a new toddler program, a Saturday workshop or community event. Maybe you want to revamp your staff training system, or even just create one if you don't have one. Maybe you want to update your parent handbook because you have a lot of fresh ideas you want to add there. Maybe you want a fresh curriculum theme. Maybe you want to spruce up your spring enrollment campaign. Update your website, add a part-time or extended hours to your existing program. So there's no filtering, no deciding right now. You're just capturing everything that you have floating around in the beautiful brain of yours, and you're putting everything down on paper. And then you're ready for step 4. So this is where we're going to leverage a bit of AI to help us with a quick research sweep. So we're going to take all the data that we collected, all the programs, all your financials, everything that you have tracked so far, okay? And this is where tech is going to become your best friend and not your stressor. So I want you to create an account on ChatGPT. A free account will suffice. You don't need to upgrade for, a paid account. A free one will work just fine. And then I want you to ask ChatGPT some questions as they relate to your business, right? So for example, for my business, for my marketing agency, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to do some research on what's trending right now when it comes to childcare trends or marketing trends or anything that's working right now in social media marketing, Facebook ads, Google My Business, things like that, right? Obviously, I'm a marketing agency, so most of my research is going to have to relate to something that has to do with marketing, social media, paid traffic, technical things. But for you, this can get really interesting. So you can ask ChatGPT, and again, you don't have to write this down. I've created a worksheet that you can download. The link is in the show notes. So you can ask GPT things like this. What childcare trends are emerging? What parents are searching for in your city, right? So you could put parents in the city of Montreal, for example. What are they searching for right now? Marketing gaps most centers have. Common parent concerns right now. What competitors offer. What parents value most when choosing a center or a home daycare. How to simplify policies or communication, right? So 99% of the time, the themes are going to be the same, just like they're the same with my marketing agency when I'm doing this. So you're going to start to see the same things pop up. Example, low enrollment in certain age groups, parent communication overwhelm, staffing challenges, wanting easier systems, not enough time to market or advertise, right? So this confirms where your energy should go, okay? So again, you're adding you're entering this inside of your ChatGPT, one question at a time, obviously. And then you are tracking down what ChatGPT is going to give you, okay? After that, you're going to start to see that there's some trends that keep popping up, some terms that are the same, they're repetitive, some issues, some concerns that you can definitely take and then think about, what, maybe I can offer something for this issue or for that issue. Or if a lot of parents are, resistant when it comes to daycare because of XYZ reason, well, maybe I can create more posts that have to do with that, right? So there's a lot of different things you can be doing right now to speak to those concerns. And obviously to align what you're going to offer going forward, especially in the next 3 months, with what your research just showed you, okay? Step number 5, this is where I get down and gritty. I literally get on the floor because I feel like I do my best thinking and my best planning on the ground, okay? So I'll sit in my living room, and then I have planners. So I'm really old school. I love paper planners, and I love really huge paper planners as well because I write really messy and I have a lot of ideas. So I have, a small stack of notebooks, paper, pencil, paper, pens, and highlighters because we can't forget highlighters. And then you're starting to put all this down in your planner, right? You're starting to think about your next 3 months. And you're starting to plan this out, what this is going to look like in your business, right? So I do 90 days for myself just because I have tried planning out 12 months out, and it is really overwhelming for me because I do have 4 kids at home, and it's really, really overwhelming for me to kind of stay the course. So I figured that 3 months are more achievable. And then, before the 3 months are up, then I'll do the next 3 months after that, because then I'll be able to really set more realistic goals and come up with better offers instead of kind of planning this out for the next 12 months. Okay. So now it's time for you to gather everything. So your truth list, your financial notes, your ideas, your market research. You sit on the floor with some sticky notes, your planner, a pen that you love, maybe some coffee. And this is where you get to plan out your next 90 days. Okay. Example for me, I've already done this for the month of January, February, March 2026. So I have mapped out what workshops I'll be giving those 3 months. What type of bonuses, worksheets, workbooks, things like that I'm going to be offering. I have already figured out what my financial goals will be for those next 3 months. I have tweaked my messaging. I have updated my website to reflect the new messaging. And I have already started to create in the back end emails and social media content and things like that. Okay. So, but that's my business, right? For you, this is not going to look obviously the same. For you, it could be something like, let's say, January goals. you want to update your parent contracts because when you were doing your research, you found that you haven't done that in the last couple of years. Maybe you want to prepare tuition increase communication. Maybe you want to refresh your classroom environments, right? February goals might be something like this: prepare a spring enrollment push, create new flyers and social media content, run a simple visibility campaign. March could look something like this: organize materials in closets, train your staff on updated policies, launch spring break or summer program marketing. Okay. And then you work backwards from there. You start thinking to yourself, okay, I know what my goals are for January, for example, and then you need to work backwards to kind of set the dates in your calendar so you can actually get the work done, okay? So when do you write the contract changes, for example? When do you print them? When do you tell parents? When do staff need training? When should marketing begin, right? So this really does prevent burnout, even though you may feel right now as you're listening to me like, what the heck are you talking about, Christina? I promise if you do this, and you actually put down those dates on paper and you know exactly when you're going to be doing everything to meet your goals. Example, for January, this becomes super focused, like you're really laser focused on what needs to be done, and you are not wasting your time spinning your wheels trying to figure out everything, okay? So I want you to do that for the next 3 months. Step number 7 is you lock it into your calendar. Very basic, very simple. Once you know what your goals are, what you're going to be tweaking, when you need it to get done by, and when you're actually going to get to work to make it happen, then it really just becomes so much more clear. So, what you want, why you want it, what needs to happen, when it needs to happen by, who's responsible. You put everything in your calendar, and this will eliminate overwhelm, confusion, decision fatigue, chaos, and it will give you clarity, confidence, a clean plan, momentum for every single week, and the feeling of being in control. So at least I am hoping it does. I promise you that once you implement this, maybe it's going to look super messy the first 3 months, and you're going to feel as though, are you doing it well? Are you not? I would love to check it out. If you want to share it with me, you can always email me. I could give you some feedback. I really don't mind. But I promise if you stick with it and then you just kind of do this in 3-month increments, you will see a difference, not only in your business, but in your energy level and what you're focusing on. And you're not going to be wasting your time, right? There's nothing worse than trying to do all the things, and at the end of the day, you feel like you've accomplished nothing. At least this gives you a clear plan to follow. You're organized. You're really walking into your business like a CEO. Even if you're the only one working in your home daycare, it does not matter. You're still a CEO. You're still a business owner, and you really are ready to kind of take action and take control over your business, your finances, what you have to offer, and making sure that your business thrives. So I would love to know in the comments, or if you can always message me on social media or in my email. I would love to know, are you planning on doing this? Download the worksheet to help you kind of guide you through this. And if you do decide, I'd love for you to check in with me. Like, let me know, yes, I'm planning on doing this. And then check in with me 3 months later, because I'd love to see if you actually met your goals and how you felt in terms of your energy, and your stress level or your overwhelm level. I'd love to know if it really helped and if it made a difference. I know for me, it does make a difference. I started doing this, I could honestly say maybe 4 years ago, because I found myself every single year, I would have these huge goals, no plan on how to get there. And every single month, I would feel like a total failure. I hadn't met my goals. I was all over the place until I took a workshop that actually allowed me to understand the strategy behind it and help to kind of put all this down on paper. And once I did it, the first year, it was not perfect. Things came up. We're all human, right? But every single year after that, I feel like it's gotten better and better and better. So I hope that this episode blesses you and your business, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.